Tram da 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 oh oh oh. Hello yet again, my dear skill modelers, to my small hobby YouTube channel. My name is Tomo, and today we're going to be taking a look at a Tramcar. This thing is MiniArt's 2016 release Tramcar with some extra goodies. The tram has over 800 parts, 810 to be precise. And the goodies include passengers, miscellaneous items such as benches, fences, light fixtures, and the base on which to put your model. The Tramcar is actually pretty big, so I think that the enjoyment level will be that much greater. You can display this model with the top of the Tramcar closed or open, and you can portray this model in one of 10 color schemes. Of course, being a Tramcar, you can paint it however you want, but you know, for all your purists out there. But how much money? It does have its own price, however I think it's a pretty good bargain since you get a lot of stuff with it. The retail price goes anywhere from 55 to 65 euros. It's a huge span. However, again, you get a lot of stuff inside the big box. Just to give you a comparison, all these things cost around roughly 30 euros together, and tram not included. This model is certainly not for a beginner, and even the intermediate modeler will have his hands full with this one. But do not despair, it is not as grim as it looks. Quite the contrary. I believe that this is going to be a very enjoyable kit to build. As we will see in a moment, the plastic is really good, and I mean really good. There's absolutely no flash when it comes to the tram and the miscellaneous items. When it comes to figures though, things are a little bit shaky on the MiniArt side, and they still kind of struggle. But the detail on the models themselves is really good. Another most impressive thing about this model kit are the clear parts. They're absolutely crystal clear. Well, with that out of the way, let us look into the box and see the parts. Behold, the European Tramcar. Die Straßenbahn Treibenwagen 641 mit crew and passengers. So, before us lies a box, a pretty thick box, you see, it's pretty thick, that contains this little Tramcar, the European version of tram. And on the side you can see that you have some goodies that come with it, and this is pretty a neat little kit, as we will see in just a moment. Let us open the box and see the contents. When you open the box, you're greeted with this little big plastic slab that is the base for the model. You see the two tracks and some cobblestone. It's pretty big, so I have a ruler here. It's a rudimentary ruler from wood. So diagonally we're talking about 38 centimeters. The length 32, width is 22. We are greeted with one ginormous bag in which everything is kind of crammed in. I am not a particular fan of this arrangement because, as you can see, it's packed pretty tightly, and during shipment and handling, certain very delicate parts can come loose or be damaged, and then you have to fix them, which is a total nightmare. As you can see, there's a lot of sprues to cover, so let's get cracking on, shall we? Okay, so this is the first sprue. We're not gonna be going through the sprues like alphabetically or in any particular order because I have to put all the things back inside the bag, and it's pretty tight, so if I don't do it exactly as they packed it in the factory, I'm gonna be in trouble. So anyway, my first impressions of this model. This is the tram sprue that contains some of the interior pieces. You can see the benches here, the doors, and some of the instrument panels like the bell on the top and some wooden doors and stuff. Anyway, it's very good plastic right off the bat, and it's really well made, really well engineered. The attachment points are really nice and fine. They're nice and big, so you have plenty of room to come in with a snipper and cut it away. The plastic feels not cheap at all. Actually feels really nice. There's nice textures here, you can feel it. This is of course just because of the mold process, it's not really textured that way. but these is textured. You can feel the grooves, you can hear, you can, you know, see everything nice and laid out. There's many parts here, very fine details, and as you will see in the close-up shots, they're pristine. They are absolutely fantastic. We've reviewed a couple of MiniArt things in the past where I criticized a couple of things, but I think that with this model they've rectified a lot of the mistakes and errors that they've made in the past. Yeah, we will just fly through the sprues and maybe hear some commentary while we look at these sprues. First of all, let me just apologize for the shaky action of the camera. I'm just using my hand to zoom in and pan throughout this video. All the parts that you see are incredible. The level of detail and dedication that went into making these parts is just second to none. And as you can see, even the most finer details are absolutely pristine. The attachment points are really good, and the level of detail and surface detail is just plentiful. The Carnage sprue contains all the figures that are included in this kit, and as you can see, the level of detail here is also very good. However, the attachment points are not that good, and there is signs of a little bit of flashing here and there. The expressions on the faces are very well defined, as well as the creases in the cloth and shoes and all that. I mean, it's just great. Here we are looking at the miscellaneous items that you get in the kit. These are the benches, the fences, the manhole covers, the street lamps, etc. You can buy all these things separately from MiniArt, but in this case they're included in the kit. As you can see, all the finer details on the model are just pristine. And again, I'm sorry for the shaky camera and sometimes out of focus video, but trust me guys, the small details are really good, and it will be really enjoyable and frustrating once you lose some. This is the most impressive thing. It's a coil. This spring coil has been molded in such a fantastic little way that just boggles the mind. A Tramcar might not be the first choice when it comes to, you know, grabbing a kit off the shelf. However, if you want to make a compelling diorama and tell a story, which you often do when you're building a diorama or a model for that matter, the Tramcar can tell a very unique and civilized story. You have to understand that the World War is not just about tanks, and when we're talking about the 30s and 40s, everybody, you know, connects it to Nazis and, you know, the bad versus evil. But there's also a civilian factor in there to be considered, and the Tramcar tells the story of people just minding their business, going to work, chatting, and, you know, commuting, and doing all the things that you and I would be doing in peacetime. So if you are the kind of person that wants to tell a story, building and painting this model and putting it into a scene will surely strike up a conversation. As we saw, there are many pieces in this jigsaw of a model kit. Many of them repeat themselves several times because, you know, you have 4 sides and you know, various very intricate details that have to be duplicated. So really, in essence, it's not a lot of sprues, but it is. But you also get some clear parts. I don't want to take them out of the bags, but you can see just how shiny they are. And to be honest, these are some of the best clear parts that I've seen in a long time. I'm really impressed when the clear part is that clear. I mean, even looking at from this point, I can put this little ruler here. You can see right through. See, there's hardly any distortion, and we're looking at like what, 4 clear part sprues. That is just amazing. So before we dive into the manual, here are the decals for the model, and as you can see, they are absolutely fantastic, with no faults, clearly and sharply printed, very clearly laid out, and we have several versions with different markings, as well as the German ones without a swastika. You know, it's censorship and all that. But yeah, pretty cool. Right, so the manual, half and half, colored in black and white. They're colored because they show you the paint scheme and the markings, and that's good. And they're black and white for the build. So let us just open it up and take a look. As we open the manual, we are greeted with various different types of tram, depending on which era you're going for. And like I mentioned in the beginning, the tram spans from 1912 to 1950, which is pretty awesome. There are subtle differences between them that you can see here and there. And what's even cool about it, that I'll show you at the very end, you get those little posters that you can stick onto them. These are not decals, but they're actually paper posters, as well as these signs here. So this is what you get inside the box. Many sprues. That's why it's such a hefty little bag. So on the last page, you get this little posters, which is pretty awesome. You can use a lot of these on your other diorama projects, but you get newspapers, magazines, and posters and signs that you cut out and put on the tram. And here are the paint schemes for your little men and women, and of course the colors that you need to use to paint them. So that's it. That was the kit in its box with all its parts. Now it's your turn to tell me what you think about it down in the comments below. Also, if you want to see more MiniArt stuff in the future, do tell me in the comments. And remember, if you click like and subscribe, another modeler gets born. So thank you very much for watching. If you haven't, thank you for liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing, and I'll see you again soon in the next one.